Hello, fellow s***ers. I'm Griffpatch. You remember me? Yeah, it's been too long. But over the next few weeks, I'll be releasing a number of videos continuing my very popular classic platformer series. Do you still have that project kicking around? I hope so, because we have some great updates to add. So many scratchers put in their requests, and top of the list was that you wished that once an enemy was defeated, that they stayed defeated for the rest of the level. Well, no problem. This shouldn't be too complex. Load up your platformer projects and blow off the dust. Guys, let's get scratching! Now, you may wonder why it is that when we dispatch an enemy, they just keep coming back. Whereas if we collect an apple or a key, the collectibles are able to stay gone and do not return. Well, that's because our collectibles are created as clones that exist throughout the game, only being hidden when we change scene. Whereas our enemies are deleted between scenes and get recreated on entering a new scene. For this reason, we are going to need another means of keeping track of when a given enemy has been squished. The best way would be using a scratch list. Make a new one now, naming it Squished, and ensure it's created for all sprites. That's very important so that it works across clones. Now we need to ensure we reset this list when the game begins. The best event to hook this off is the setup event. So in the enemy sprite, when I receive setup, delete all the squished list. But now we need a way to identify each enemy clone from one another. Looking under the when I receive change scene in the enemy sprite, we do specify the type of enemy, but we don't give each one a unique ID, a name that will identify them from one another. So right-click and edit the spawn custom block. We'll add in a new label, ID, with a new input also named ID. That means we can now assign each enemy a unique ID to identify it. But we do have to be careful, because if you remember, these top two enemies are actually the same enemy. We just pick one depending on which direction we need to spawn it in from. So we're going to name them both, I don't know, R1 or Red1 or Bob, it doesn't really matter, as long as it's their name and no others. Then just give each other one a completely unique name. Okay, scroll down to the define spawn script. We need to make a record of the passed in ID. Make a new variable named, ID, yet again, this time making it for this sprite only. It's their ID and no one else's. And we set ID to the input variable ID. Cool, so that should now mean each enemy knows who they are. And that's great, because if this squished list contains our ID, well then, we don't want them coming back to life anymore, do we? Stop this script and drop it in before we have a chance to create any new enemy clone. Awesome! The only thing missing is actually recording which enemies have been squished. Well, this shouldn't be hard. I wonder if you already know how you might do this. We find the define touching player script. These top scripts trigger when the player squishes this enemy. So we simply need to add an item to the squished list. And that item is this enemy's unique ID variable. And it can go somewhere near the top, like when we are playing the squish sound. Guys, smash that green flag, and let's see if this does the job. Jumping on my first enemy, and you'll see that their unique ID, R2, has been added to our list. Perfect! I'll avoid the second one for now, and then return to see if R2 has respawned. And they haven't. Excellent news! So let's squish R2 as well. Great, and wow, suddenly our world feels so much more empty than before. Ha! Well, it's the price you pay if you want to have despawning enemies. It's your call. Some games do and some don't. Anyhow, we will be able to balance this out by adding other types of undefeatable enemies, and perhaps enemy generators later on in a further bonus episode. Well, surprisingly, this is the end of this short episode. I told you this wasn't going to be too complex. You may just want to double confirm that when we lose all our lives and then restart the game, that all the enemies do in fact return as planned. But apart from that, yeah, well done. This is looking epic. But I think you're going to love the next episode even more.